In part A of question 8, I need to find in terms of pi the values of x for which cos 2x plus sin x equals 0, and I need to give my solutions within the range of 0 to 2 pi. You can see that I've used the identity cos 2x equals 1 minus 2 sin squared x, and I obtained a quadratic in sin x which factorised, and I eventually solved to get the following values for x: pi by 2, 7 pi by 6, and 11 pi by 6. I'm now going to use the Casio graphical calculator to confirm these values. If I select option 5, the graph function menu, you can see I've already keyed in the function cos 2x plus sin x. Furthermore, I'm in radians mode, and you can see that up here in the top of the display. That's the required mode for this question. So if I select F6 to draw, I can now see my function. And I'm interested in where it crosses the x-axis, in other words when y equals 0. So if I select F5 for G-solve and F1 to obtain the roots, the first root, as you can see with the pink crosshair, is when x equals 1.57 and so on. That's actually pi by 2, which confirms the calculation I got earlier. If I scroll to the right, the next root appears at 3.665 and so on, and that corresponds to 7 pi by 6. A simple calculation will confirm that for you. Finally, if I scroll to the right one more time, the last value is 5.75 and so on, and that corresponds to the last calculation, which was 11 pi by 6. So the calculator has confirmed the three values I obtained through my mathematics. Now in part B, we need to find to two decimal places the values of x for which dy by dx equals 0. Well, at stationary points, dy by dx equals 0. And so I can use G-solve to help me here. If I select F5 for G-solve, and let's look at the minimum and the maximum. I'll start with the maximum, which is F2. You can see the first maximum when x is positive is the value of x 0.25, etc. Don't forget we're working in radians here, and so that corresponds to this first value, 0.25, just here. If I scroll to the right, I'll get the next maximum, which occurs when x equals, well, that's 2.89 to two decimal places, and again that corresponds to this value here. So where did the other two values in my solution set come from? Well, they correspond to the minimums within this range. So if I select F5 for G-solve and F3 for min, you can see the first minimum I get is at pi by 2, which is 1.57 and so on. And you can see that here. And finally the last one, if I scroll to the right, is here, 4.71 and so on. And again, that corresponds to the final set here. So the calculator has confirmed my four solutions within the range 0 to 2 pi to be correct.